What's the most savage thing you ever said without even trying? I didn't mean to do it. Honestly, I didn't. But sometimes, words come out before you can even think. And when they do, well, they leave an impression. It happened when I was at a family gathering, and I had no idea it would escalate the way it did. We were all sitting around the dinner table, talking about the usual things, how everyone's work was going, the latest gossip about distant relatives, the weather, and all that mundane stuff. And then, of course, he had to start talking. It was my cousin Derek, the one who always thought he was the funniest guy in the room. He'd never been known for being particularly subtle. He had this thing about putting people down to get laughs, and I was his favorite target. I wasn't bothered by it. At least, that's what I told myself. But deep down, I could never quite shake the feeling that his jokes were more about boosting his own ego than anything else. So, there we were, laughing about something completely trivial, when Derek made his usual snarky comment, aimed directly at me. "You know," he said with a grin, "I always wondered how you managed to look so put together, with all that chaos going on in your life." The table fell silent for a split second, everyone waiting for my reaction. But what surprised me most was that for once, I didn't get defensive. I didn't try to brush it off or laugh it off the way I normally would. Instead, I just looked at him, and without even thinking, the words spilled out. Well, I guess I just have to do it all myself, since some of us weren't blessed with the ability to stay out of trouble long enough to get a real job. It was like the whole room froze. My words hit like a bomb. Everyone looked at me in shock, like they couldn't believe I'd said it. Derek's face went red, his smug grin fading, and for the first time, he didn't have a witty comeback. I didn't even realize how savage that sounded until the words left my mouth. It was like my brain had thrown that line out as an automatic defense mechanism. He'd always made little jabs at me for being the responsible one, the one who didn't mess around. And for once, I'd had enough. It wasn't a major insult, but it was the timing, the delivery, and the way it made him stop in his tracks that shocked everyone. I remember my aunt, who was sitting next to me, awkwardly clearing her throat, trying to break the tension. But the damage was done. Derek didn't speak for the rest of the evening. He just quietly picked at his food, his face still flushed. Later, my mom pulled me aside and whispered, "You didn't have to be so harsh, sweetie." But honestly, I didn't feel bad. I wasn't proud of it, but I wasn't sorry either. Sometimes people like Derek need to be reminded that you're not their punching bag, and they can't keep throwing shade without consequences. It was like a weight had been lifted off my shoulders. For once, I wasn't the one to take the hit. That night, as I sat there reflecting, I realized something. Sometimes we hold back so much to keep the peace, to avoid rocking the boat. But in the end, there are moments when we just need to speak our truth, even if it's a little savage. It was a reminder to myself that I don't have to tolerate disrespect, and that sometimes words can be both a shield and a sword.